I walked in through these very doors in 2013, and I didn't know anybody in this country. I didn't know if anybody would care about a loudmouth Irish woman who loved puns and toast. Through injury and triumph, it was the fans who stood up for me, who had my back. You at home deserve to hear this from me first, that I have to go away for a while. Thank you! Thank you!
Welcome everyone to Ring the Bell, this is DS, and today for this very special episode, we've got special guests from RuPaul's Drag Race, Jaymes Mansfield.
Hi everyone!
The wrestling's five-tool player, Anthony Bowens.
Yay!
Anthony, I've been dying to have you on this show. So we've seen you on NXT and Impact. I just learned that Santino Marella is like the start of your wrestling career. Is that correct?
Yes. So I was, before I was wrestling, I found out that a bunch of the WWE superstars come to my gym when they're in the area. So I was in college at the time. I emailed all my professors that I was sick and I wouldn't be coming in because I went straight to the gym to work out and meet everybody. So I got in there and I met a bunch of people, and he was the last one in there, and I thought maybe I shouldn't bother him, he's doing abs, but then I thought, screw it, I'll never see this man ever again in my life. I asked him for a photo and he stayed in gimmick, which was pretty awesome. And as I was walking away, he was like, you look like a pro wrestler, have you ever thought about becoming one? And I was like, yeah. And then he pulled out his phone and gave me the number to Pat Buck, who former WWE Raw producer and owner, head trainer of Creative Pro, Pat Buck. And then the next week, I started my wrestling journey, and 7.5 years later, I'm talking to you.
That's amazing. In 2017, you made headlines everywhere when you came out as bi.
Yes, January of 2017.
Since then, I was waiting for this moment.
I actually do identify as gay, just not to confuse viewers. I did have a second coming out moment where I just felt like I identified more. I hate labels, but since the world uses them and they're going to continue to use them, I felt I closely more identify with the label or term gay as opposed to bi.
Well, that's amazing. That's amazing. And Jaymes, what's your looks inspired by today?
I've turned looks multiple times in the past, but we're in quarantine now, so quarantine Jaymes is a cool mom.
Money in the Bank. Let's start from the SmackDown Women's Championship, Tamina versus Bayley.
Okay, so I was watching this match, and I have to say, Tamina Snuka, she had the energy of a mother who was confronting her child's bully. That was the whole match. Delio Cantos of WWE Women's Division. That's American Dad reference.
Sasha Banks, she was serving Britney Spears realness.
Yeah, for once, I have to say, she managed to walk around the ring in heels and not stumble and fall.
And you gotta give Tamina a lot of credit too, because I know she's hurting and I know her knees were bad for a while, and she went out there and she busted her ass with Bayley, and you could tell there was some time, I think she jumped off the second or something like that, and you could tell her knee buckled, but she's such a trooper and she just keeps going, and that's props to her.
She was throwing Bayley all around that place, and I have to say, with the whole no audience being there, I've been plugged into a lot more of the matches, and I've never noticed before, but Bayley has got a dom. I never noticed. I'm gay. I don't know these things.
I'm actually really feeling her gimmick now. I was very skeptical at first when she turned heel. I wasn't feeling the whole Santa Claus is not real situation. But now I think she's totally comfortable. There's no crowd, but she's feeling the atmosphere. And when she was spraying that water, she was like, I'm feeling you, Bayley. You're great.
I mean, it's great, especially at the end of the match too. Sasha was giving off this energy, which I haven't really seen before with a female-female dynamic, where she's just oh my God, yes. She seems like she's just so enamored with Bayley.
You think Sasha is enamored with Bayley?
That's the way she was acting. She gave off that whole I want to do everything in my power to make you think that I'm all about you. And Sasha Banks is just going to turn on her any second.
I was just getting ready to say that. She could be turning around.
You know a sneaky thing that she did on Instagram? She posted a photo of her and Bayley, and then she tagged sheep on Bayley and then wolf on herself.
It's early. I like that.
Wait, so what do we think of Tamina's performance here? She actually pulled out some really cool moves using ropes.
2 thumbs up.
I was really digging it. Like I said, like she was totally ragdolling her the whole time. She had the energy of someone that's beating up a child bully, like everywhere. Loved it.
I think they told a good story too. Like going off of that, like Tamina is a much more physical, like a specimen than Bayley, and she threw her around early, and then Bayley started working on the leg, try and chop her down. But
That leg reversal, right? Where she reversed her super kick.
Oh,
That
so
was
good.
Great.
You know, the only thing, so Bayley was keep screaming, like, I'll send you back to your therapy and all that stuff. She's talking about the videos that Tamina has been uploading on her Instagram. Have you guys seen that?
that I haven't seen.
Hello, Tamina. Thank you for coming in today.
I've been working really hard on this positive reinforcement stuff.
Huh. Creative.
Which didn't translate into TV. They did not mention that at all on TV. So for Bayley to bring that into a match, I think a lot of people would have been kind of confused.
Now is the perfect time to get Tamina over since like there's no crowd or anything. So
Yeah, no, I love Tamina's action here when she was watered by Bayley. She like sprouted out into a big tree and started attacking everyone really big. Although I do have to say I don't love it when the interference is too obvious. When Sasha crawled in, Tamina was like, let me stop this pin and get you right now.
I mean, it happens like that.
Yeah, it's like a wrestling logic.
Correct. Something like what did Bruce Pritchard say? You can't apply logic to an illogical situation sometimes. You just gotta go with it.
that with the empty arena, I feel like it's really hard now to pull that off because you don't have the loud crowd around you. So you could just like those videos they make where you can like they take all the audio, you can hear everyone's footsteps. Very much that.
So where do you think they're going with the SmackDown division now?
I don't know. I can't answer that one, James.
I predict that there will be more matches next week. There will be a winner and a loser, and there probably won't be a crowd there. Predictions right here.
Do we want to see Tamina more and continue this storyline, or do you want to see someone like Lacey come in? Because I feel like Lacey was booked so strongly in Money in the Bank, which we'll talk about. It might be Lacey up next.
I think either or, because I always felt bad that Tamina never had like a super duper push. So I like seeing her get a lot of TV time. I like seeing her getting a lot of match time. I think that's super cool. And also Lacey, we had a tryout together. She probably doesn't remember, but I think I had a little bit of a hand of getting her signed because I told her to yodel in the ring at the tryout, and she yodeled, and everybody was like, no, I don't think she's used that on TV yet, or shouldn't have said that. Maybe that was a surprise. She's a very talented, badass individual, and I'm happy for both of them.
I'm glad you're taking credit for her getting signed because I take full credit for her getting a push.
Because there'll be dirt sheet headlines saying Anthony Bowens says Lacey Evans got signed because of him.
Well, that's not the impressive thing. She got her push because of me and my Twitter feud with her. Calm down, sis.
I think WWE's plan is to have Sasha versus Bayley in like a big stage, which is SummerSlam. We have Backlash, and we have Extreme Rules until then. So I think either Lacey or Tamina will be like have a couple more matches until Bayley will lose the title to Sasha Banks, I'm guessing. Let's talk about this Money in the Bank match.
Yes.
I don't even know how to review this.
It was a mashup of both matches. I didn't expect that. It was a full like race to the top. It felt like a video game.
You know, when they were all entering, I got little like RuPaul's Drag Race workroom vibe. Did you get that?
Yes. I watched it on mute, so I don't know if they had like funny things to say when they walked out or not.
What was funny is Carmella.
Ladder match winner, Carmella from Friday
She
Night.
was doing that moonwalk and she was like squeaking.
I enjoyed the match. I like kind of campy scenes like that. I know a lot of people prefer more serious, wrestling. I think they combined it was a good mashup of it. Like there was weights being thrown, glass being shattered, people being tossed everywhere. There was cameos, there was silliness. I think it had a little bit of everything to make someone happy.
What do we think about the fact that it was Jaymes, you couldn't hear, but there was no commentary? It was all like soundtrack underneath.
Until you said that right now, I don't even think I realized that there wasn't commentary. I was just very entertained by it. And again, that's kind of my flavor of ice cream anyway, because those campy, goofy kind of moments and scenarios or stuff that my boyfriend and I live for with our YouTube channel. So I thought it was entertaining.
What was your favorite moment?
My favorite was Asuka jumping off the balcony onto everybody and doing that crazy ass dance in the elevator.
Yeah.
Oh yes, I was dying the second it cut to her and she was just kind of going back and forth. Fantastic.
Asuka has been so good. Okay, I loved her like Empress and just like going over everyone, super dominant. I like that too, but I am in love with this completely.
I was going to say I've fallen in love with Asuka in every sense of the word as a performer because she has such range. Like she had the badass NXT, I'm going to choke everybody out, made Bayley pass out, and now she has this comedy side of her too, while maintaining that same amount of badassness dancing in the elevator because it's just so random and funny that she danced outside the elevator and then she continued on for no reason at all.
The MVP of this match, I think it's Dana Brooke. Dana Brooke was so freaking amazing. I am her biggest fan at this point. When she took that painting right through her head.
I'm also a big Shayna Baszler fan.
Shayna Baszler.
Oh, Baszler, yeah.
Love her.
She kind of blended in a lot in this match, though. Like, they didn't use her a whole lot.
That's what I thought.
I don't know. It's interesting because, like, she's so tough and, like, she's got such this badass character to see her in, like, this campy, like, mad dash to the top kind of match. It didn't seem very fitting. Like, I felt like she would have been better off, like, put it in a singles competition because she didn't really gel with the ensemble of it all. It's too goofy.
Yeah.
That's my take.
I mean, I think I can agree with that. Either way, I think adding her into the mix makes it like definitely intriguing because she can choke out anybody and just leave them laying there, drag them around the building if you wanted to. So I think she always adds an element of like, oh shit, these girls are gonna have to get through her.
She choked out Rey Mysterio, which was a pretty big moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The men too. That's fantastic.
I agree with Jaymes because I was expecting a little bit more destruction from Nia and Shayna just in general. I thought they would be destroying like at least one or two office rooms just completely.
I think if the matches weren't combined and they had more, I guess, focus on each match, they probably could have had more freedom. But I'm almost positive, just knowing the way things get shot, they probably shot so many more things that just didn't make the cut.
I think the only problem I had with this match is that so little of it took place inside of the wrestling ring at the end. I actually was hungry for a wrestling ring match after this.
You were really upset, Jaymes.
I was. I'm tearing shit up right now.
No, I agree because I thought there will be like lengthy wrestling match after all that craziness SNL skit type situation, but it was really quick.
Yeah, it was decently quick. I was expecting it to go a little longer.
Are we upset that none of the girls got pushed down the building?
Or there was no Naomi jumping off the building like it was on the poster.
It would be cool if there was some sort of like trick shot where it looked like they jumped off the top of something, like almost like Shawn Michaels did in the original like Raw intro from '95 when he jumped off the thing and into the ring, even though he didn't really do that.
How did Lady Gaga do it from Super Bowl? Didn't she jump off too?
Yeah.
She did. I wish they got more gimmicky with it, like going to one office building, you see people on like the window cleaner outside, right their way up, or like suction cup. Oh my god, I'm going crazy at this now. Oh my gosh, they should hire me.
What do we think of Stephanie McMahon cameo? Dana, this is Money in the Bank conference room.
This is the Money in the Bank conference room.
The actual briefcase is upstairs if you go on the stairs.
Was her read that hollow?
Because I heard WWE did a lot of pickup shot after the first round of filming. So I think Stephanie was filmed separately.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think that was a separate shot that they kind of got and added in.
Caught her on her way to coffee, and she just shot that in the conference room. Yeah.
I would have watched this again. It was really fun.
I would too. I would welcome. I kind of like the cinematic matches. I know some people might not be a fan of them, or they're scared that they're going to be overdone now. But I like those kind of things because it presents different ways to create funny or intense or whatever kind of scenario you want to. It's in your control as opposed to hoping that it goes well live.
It's an interesting approach at keeping the spirit of wrestling alive, despite our times we're in. And it's also very Lucha Underground up. I want them to get crazier. Oh my goodness. Like Wrestling Society X are like completely over the top.
Oh wow, you watched Wrestling Society X?
I watch it all, baby.
I love that. That's awesome.
Also, we didn't talk about Carmella at all. She took the powerbomb.
Powerbomb.
Oh yeah, through the table, yeah. She got punched a bunch by Lacey.
Oh my god, that was a good one. Who's our MVPs?
My personal picks would have been Asuka for sure. As far as pulled their weight in the women's match, Nia Jax was doing a lot of skits and a lot of segments. Dana Brooke. Dana
Yeah.
Brooke was selling a lot of the comedy spots.
I'm going Asuka because she won and she made me laugh my ass off with her dance.
I'm gonna pick Dana Brooke. Like a year or two from now, I probably wouldn't have thought that I would love that Dana Brooke the most from Money in the Bank match, but I freaking love her! I think she deserves that opportunity!
I was waiting for it.
And she was perfect for this match. It was like comedy match, she's really funny. I mean, Naya's super funny, so that's also other reason I think she shined.
Love it. Love
Naya's hysterical. Have you seen her profile picture on Twitter? It's her face inside of a caution sign.
Alright everyone, we are here with Paloma and Moxie! It turned out to be a very special episode of Raw, so I just wanted to bring you two to talk about this emotional night. Let's quickly talk about SmackDown first, because we saw a big blowout match between Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville.
Yeah, at first I was like, why are they having this match now? But then the way the match went out, or turned out, was pretty good, because it was just a fight. Like, it was no, like, cool fancy wrestling spots or wrestling moves or anything like that. They were just like fighting with each other, like trying to really, rip each other's hair off, rip each other's eyelashes off, literally.
Yeah.
So I know this won't be the last of it for sure, but I liked it. It's a good progression in the storyline.
Oh my god, so last week I got so much shit because I compared Sonya with Mickie James and everyone's like, no, it is Victoria! No, I saw that too, but like, especially when she walked out with like a hair thing, she definitely looked like Psycho Victoria and I loved it.
All the things you said, running through my head, running through my
Paloma basically said like how I felt. I think it's like hilarious, like trying to rip their eyelashes off and everything like that. And in recent weeks, most of the WWE stuff across the brands doesn't leave me wanting more. And this definitely does. So like, I'm like ready to see where this goes. I'm also ready for this storyline to finally just take off, because I feel like we've had build up, then we didn't, then we did, then we didn't. Like going all the way back to like pre-WrestleMania last year, how like there was supposed to be something between them and then there wasn't. And I don't know, I'm just ready for it, I guess.
Last couple of weeks, I think my biggest concern was with Mandy, because I feel like given that face is more difficult to show charisma and just like character just in general, but she was lacking in the energy level a lot compared to Sonya Deville. But I think she definitely stepped it up.
Yeah, I totally agree. She definitely had that fire under her this time more than last week. And I think maybe she's getting a little bit more comfortable working as a baby face, or she just really, you can really almost feel like the tension between them. I mean, it's coming off great and you can really see it. So she definitely stepped up, and if she's hopefully keeps on going in the right direction, in the next week it'll be more and more and more.
Like last week, I was like, why are we? So I was gonna say, oftentimes, and I think Paloma can say this, when you work one way for a very long time, sometimes it's hard to just like snap into this other way to work. And so I don't know, maybe she went home and practiced in the mirror or something. But like, I think she like got into it finally. And yeah, I loved her facial expressions. I love everything about facial expressions. You guys know that.
I will just think that she thought of it as like a progression. Maybe she got more angry and angry by time, and like she definitely exploded in this match. So I loved seeing that from them. I want to see where this goes, because obviously the ending was cheating from Sonya. Where do you think this will go from now?
I hope it goes for Sonya beating her finally, because I feel like Sonya is extremely underrated, and I think it's time for her to shine.
I kind of was thinking of what would be the original trajectory of the storyline, because I know the main writer behind this was let go. So I wonder if that's going to change what the storyline's going to be. I'm interested to see if there's going to be even more layers to the story as it goes on, like involving Otis or involving Dolph, or maybe I thought about even like Otis or Dolph saying, oh, Otis, I'll leave you and Mandy alone if you put your Money in the Bank briefcase on the line. But I know that's skipping a little bit ahead.
I think now that Otis has the Money in the Bank briefcase, I think that might be affecting this storyline a little bit. I kind of want to see Sonya win and do her own thing, because she's freaking amazing. I could also see Mandy become like the target from Fiend in kind of progressing the storyline between Otis and Fiend for the WWE Championship.
Yeah, totally. I just hope that, like I said, like this either that way or any other way, like just keep on adding more to the story, because they could honestly drag this out without making it too boring too. But that's only, they could only do that if they add different stuff to it. But I hope they don't go like too crazy and like a whole bunch of people all of a sudden involved. So find a happy medium.
Do we want to talk about that tag match really quickly? Tamina and Lacey Evans versus Sasha and Bayley?
I mean, they made Tamina look strong, which is just really because if, say, whenever she did wrestle Bayley, they want her to wrestle somebody, you know? She can't just wrestle somebody who's like, is not that good or doesn't look that good. So I'm glad that they made Tamina look strong. But then again, as soon as I saw her win, I was like, oh man, that means she's totally not going to go over on Sunday. But it was a good showing. It was strong showing by Tamina. I think it really showed that now she could do more than just the regular super kick that she's been doing for so long. So I'm glad they're not letting her be limited anymore.
I also had the same thought where I was like, okay, now they're not going to let Tamina win, even though we all wanted it. I am sad because I feel like they were only doing stuff with her for this Money in the Bank storyline, and now that it's gone, I'm really afraid we're not going to see very much of her.
I also love that Tamina and Bayley, you can totally see that they worked together and came up with really good spots they can work on. You saw that from the SmackDown title match on Money in the Bank too, so I'm glad that happened. But let's move to Raw. So we started with Becky Lynch, the man. When she came out, she was already choking up. And I was like, shit.
And I don't think that was fake. I think that was genuine.
What do we think of this reveal that in the Money in the Bank briefcase, there was championship all along? Just love it.
I thought it was a good swerve, a good, I mean, they had to call an audible. Like, it was a good way to write that in. Like, oh man, what are we going to do? But the only thing that kind of made me laugh, like, you didn't open it this whole time, Asuka? Like, I know, you know? But that's like something silly and small, because I know if I would have gotten something, I'm like, oh, what's really in here?
You just think about it as like rattling in there and like, paper doesn't make this noise.
I love this storyline. I love the swerve. I love that WWE brought back the storyline because Asuka and Becky, there was this continuing storyline going on that Asuka was the one that was really challenging Becky and pushing Becky to the limit. I mean, we kind of forgot about it because, you know, Becky beat Asuka multiple times after that. But they brought that storyline back and she was like, you are the warrior. And I'm like, oh my god, I love this.
That whole interaction was super cute and genuine, and you could totally feel the love between them. And it was really cute. I was like, oh my god, congratulations, and hugged her. Like, that was like really cute and adorable, and I loved it all. And then also Asuka's dancing when she found out she was the champion. I'm here for it.
We were going to talk about this a little bit more on News and Rumor, but apparently Asuka had no idea what was going on. So all the reaction was real.
That's awesome. I kind of wish there was more times in wrestling that would happen. So it's great when it does.
Did you see it backstage too when all the people were congratulating her? I mean, I'm sure they knew what she was going to say, but I wonder if Becky didn't know, because Becky seemed kind of put off by not put off, but shocked that like everyone was crowding her like backstage promo. So I feel like she didn't know all of that was happening. Do you think it's going to be a boy or a girl? I want it to be a girl, and then I want Birdie to grow up to be a wrestler, and then their child grow up to be a wrestler, and they're going to start to make their own 4 horsewomen of all wrestler-made babies. All the other horsewomen aren't wrestler and wrestler. Like, their parents weren't both wrestlers. But now we're starting to have, like, you know, I can't even explain it.
Now that's some long-term booking.
I love that you're writing storylines for fetus right now.
Yeah.
Another thing I really loved is Asuka was awarded so much for all the hard work she did throughout this quarantine time. I love that she was awarded by WWE, and I thought it was just perfect. I loved it so much.
Well deserved.
Do you think it was Becky's choice to give it to Asuka? Like, do you think she got to choose?
Maybe she had an input. I don't know, like, she had to choose.
It was just perfect. Like, storyline wise, it was perfect. Real life, what Asuka did throughout this whole quarantine time, it being like a total shock to everyone. Everything just worked so perfectly.
Totally. Those moments in wrestling are very few and rare, so it's awesome when you actually get to see like real life and real emotions be played out.
Did you guys think that Becky almost sounded like she might be retiring?
For a little bit, I mean, if I had to guess, I mean, I don't know what. It's her own personal decision. She will probably take a little bit longer time. Like, it's not like she's gonna pop out this baby and come right back away into the ring. But she did sound kind of like she was retiring. And at first, I'm like, well, it's not an injury, because if it was an injury, she would have said it. I'm like, I don't know about retiring, but I guess we'll see. I think she'll be back though. I definitely think she'll be back. I think she definitely has that like fighting spirit in her to want to come back and be like a great example for her child.
Obviously, I think she's retiring for a time. She's the man, so she's going to come back. And I feel like because she had to relinquish it while there could be no one in the audience, when she finally has that moment when she comes back, I think the fans are going to go wild because they haven't been able to be there to say goodbye to her. And now they're going to be there to see her come back. It'll be crazy. But I also think it's a quarantine baby. We're going to see a lot more of them.
We said goodbye to Becky Lynch for a while, but we said hello to the IIconics!
IIconic!
Okay, I popped so hard.
Me too! I was like, yay!
It's like, am I watching the correct Raw? I was confused, but so happy.
I told y'all that they would come back exactly the same, that they weren't going to be repackaged.
I mean, here's the thing. I think they came better than ever because they changed their slogan. Did you notice that?
No.
So it was usually,
We are the future, and the future is IIconic!
but they changed it to Future has arrived because we are iconic. So they tweaked it a little bit. We're not the future anymore. We're the now.
I like it.
I didn't even realize this. Look at what my shirt says.
I know, that's why I told you that. What an appropriate shirt.
Oh, that's perfect.
I didn't even think about it.
No, I was so happy to see them. And I'm glad that they didn't change their character too much. They just tweaked it in the best way. I think they are still very funny, but they got rid of the coward part. Or the part that they're funny, but they're scared to be in a battle and stuff like that. They came in actually pretty vicious.
Yeah, they did. And they got a new finisher, too.
Oh, yeah. What do you think of that finisher?
I like it.
I agree. It looks awesome. I like it. It's impactful. And I think that them coming back, their first one being against the female tag champions, it makes them look pretty strong coming right off. Especially since with them leaving previously, I didn't believe this, but some people thought they weren't so good. I think it like, bam, in your face.
No, totally, because they were booked so weak. They were a threat back in NXT, but in main roster, they were just not booked that way. So I can understand if people think they are not as good, but I think here this time, they changed that character again. They came in, they challenged the champion right away, and they showed tons of different tag moves. I think this is going to be refreshing time for IIconics, and I'm here for it.
And now I think that the women's tag titles are being booked a little bit better than they were, especially when they were the champions. So it's going to be great to see them hopefully have another tag team champion run with now that it's more predominant and better booked. So
let's talk about Shayna Baszler segment before we talk about the match. I freaking loved it.
Me too. Loved it. Oh my God, it was everything a heel promo should be. Have her be shitty. My favorite part of the whole thing, of the whole night was like, that kid's gonna suck. That was amazing. I laughed so hard.
Yeah, that kid's gonna suck.
I don't think Shayna is one of the very few people who is not scared to be a heel, who's like, bring me that heat, I don't care. Because a lot of people want to be the cool heel, and a lot of people don't really want to be hated. They just want to be liked. So I'm all for the pure heel, and she's definitely it.
You don't want to know what I think. It's very against what Paloma just said.
That's what the show's for. It's okay.
This is going to be so mean. It's probably going to get me in so much trouble. But like, whenever I see Shayna Baszler on screen, I just wonder if I actually like wrestling. Like, do I watch it enough? Do I like wrestling?
Well, damn.
It makes you want to quit watching wrestling.
Maybe Shayna wants to make me feel that way. I don't know. I'm just not entertained.
I think this was WWE's don't try this at home moment. They're basically channeling everything that the trolls are saying on Twitter. Oh, like, why would you have a kid on peak of your career, ruining your career? Why would you not use condoms? Seth Rollins is such a troll. Like, poor Becky. Like, I think they're channeling everything that trolls would say into Shayna. She's a top heel. So they're like, don't say this to Becky because Shayna said this.
I agree.
Talk about how people are trolling and are very angry at Seth or Becky about this, saying she's dumb because she's in like the height of her career. But like, this doesn't make her lesser. Like, I don't know. I just feel like they're being unfair to her. She's a woman. She's allowed to have a kid if she wants to. Her and Seth Rollins are like in a committed, I don't know. It just makes me angry.
Because the fans of the WWE are predominantly men, and they're so used to seeing top star as a male, I think they just don't know how to wrap their heads around it.
We don't owe our personal lives to their entertainment.
Yeah.
So I'm super passionate about this because so many guys and people in general automatically assume that I have kids. Most of the time I get asked, how many kids do you have? As opposed to, do you have kids? Just like in Mother's Day, where if a guy tells me, Happy Mother's Day, I'll tell him, Happy Mother's Day to you too. And they'll be like, oh, I'm not a mother. And I'll be like, I'm not either. And I just hate the assumption. Like, why do people think they have the right to have an opinion over a woman's body and the decisions that they make, especially when it comes to reproduction? It could be as big as politician to a random person who sees you down the street saying, oh, you really need to start to think about having kids. Aren't you getting so older now? Like, shut up. It's their own personal decision. That goes back to everybody who's trolling or saying anything about it. Screw them. Do whatever you want. It's their own body. It's their own relationship. People piss me off sometimes when it comes to that.
Yeah.
But I'm glad. I'm happy for them.
Shayna continued her savage segments when she said, Natalya will be death of Hart Dynasty. and then she had a match. Did that want to make you quit wrestling too, Moxie?
I was like, why are we giving her airtime? I feel like because they pushed her on me so long in NXT, and because that's the show that I review the most, I'm just tired of seeing her. And like, I feel really bad because she's really good at what she does. It's just like, I'm just done with seeing her. Like, give me something fresh.
I'm sure there's a lot of people that thinks like you, and that's really sad because she just came up to Raw.
Yeah.
So they gotta book her better. But let's talk about this match, Natalya versus Shayna Baszler.
Natty is the best at, like, especially with no one in the arena, she's the best at like keeping some dialogue going during the match.
Oh yeah.
And like she just like kept talking and like pretended like, I don't know, there was fans there. Like I think she's the best at overcompensating for the fact that there's not fans there. You know what I mean? Like, but also she says bitch way too much.
I was about to say that. I was about to say everybody at 3 say Natty's favorite word.
Bitch.
Yeah. She says it every single time.
Bitch.
I actually kind of like this match.
That's it?
If it wasn't Shayna Baszler, would it be bad? I can't explain it. It's just because it's her that I'm like,
I mean, it was kind of a slow paced match, right? I mean, Shayna doesn't do like super fast paced matches, but she takes it slow. What I like about her is that she tells a story. So I really like that she was just pissing off Natalya, like tripping her and all that. I really love that part. And then it was like telling a story of her and Natalya just going kind of toe to toe. I like that story.
The only thing I didn't like about was their whole interaction backstage when Natalya comes up to her. It's like, how are you going to disrespect the miracle of motherhood? I'm like, Natty, who talks like that? Like, she could have easily just said, why are you talking shit about Becky? Or like, why are you saying mean things about Becky? As opposed to, how dare you disrespect the miracle of motherhood?
But also, Paloma, I can totally see Natalya saying that.
Oh yeah, totally. I was gonna say it's totally on brand for her too. So. But the match was surprisingly solid. Like I guess I thought they wouldn't really mesh well together, but they did a pretty good job. Shayna kneed the shit out of her in her face with the
yeah.
But I did like the little back and forth spot that Shayna kept on trying to trip her. And I'm glad too that Natalya like moved her arm when they do that weird arm thing.
Oh
like
yeah.
So many times I'm like, just move your arm. Like, really?
Yeah, but those are the moments that I like from Shayna. Like it's slow, but she's building like those little moments where I'm at the edge of the seat. I'm like, damn.
I think putting her with Natalya was gold. I mean, on Natalya, it shows that she can work anyone. A lot of the younger workers are used to fast-paced matches. They're not going to do well with Shayna.
Yeah.
But because Natalya can flip-flop between anything, like, she made Shayna look good, and Shayna's good in her own right. But I think it was good to put her with Natty. Natty's the person that can, like, make anyone shine. I'm just tired of seeing her.
That's a really good point, because Shayna did have some really good matches over takeovers, but she didn't have good matches with everyone. Yeah, I mean, I also love the fact that Natalya wasn't buried. Shayna has been just kind of going through everyone that she's been facing, but that didn't happen, so I like that.
It's amazing how few people are being buried recently. Wow, like they might know what they're doing finally.
So thank you so much for joining in for this Money in the Bank review. Anthony, where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Bowens_official if you want to watch my comedy videos or daily vlogs to get to know my myself and my boyfriend, Michael Romano. Head over to YouTube and check out our channel, Michael and Anthony.
You can find me on YouTube at Jaymes Mansfield. We're almost at 100K. Be sure and subscribe.
Yes!
I'm also on Instagram at Jaymes Mansfield. You can also find me in Anthony Bowens' comment sections when he's shirtless.
I see them.
And you can find me at DS and Ring the Bell DS on Twitter. All right, bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.